Danville City Commission. Today is June the 2nd. The hour is 9:02. I'll call us to order. We have three items on the agenda. Two of them are resolutions, one with respect to water distribution, the other with respect to reimbursement resolution, and then the third is the draft budget presentation.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
you can use that other agenda you left for.
That agenda is first, Mayor.
That's in the first.
Yeah. We're having two different meetings this morning.
So, oh, yeah. So you're going to have a second meeting?
We're going to have two meetings, yes. The second meeting will be on the budget.
So to the public, we are having a second meeting after this agenda or during this agenda?
After this agenda.
After this
We will
agenda.
open and close the Police and Fire Pension Board meeting and then have the City Commission meeting. This
we're
is the
gonna
meeting, the
begin
first
with
meeting is a meeting of the Police and Fire Pension Board.
So we're going to meet first, according to the city manager, we'll meet first with pension board meeting, where we'll approve the minutes, actuarial and investment review, and budget discussion and action, if any, for the fiscal year 2023. You have the minutes in front of you.
Let me jump in there, Mayor, and explain as, to condition the meeting as you are wondering. Normally, the City Commission doesn't have a role in this board meeting. The Police and Fire Pension Fund is fund set up for the retirees, not in the county retirement system, the CERS. Traditionally, the board meets annually to review the actuarial. The cover letter is in the PDF we've sent you. You have, I think, the copy of that on your desk in front of you. Review the actuarial and then make a decision and recommendation on the COLA adjustment for the fiscal year we are entering to the City Commission. We, created by a problem with the health of some of the remaining eligible voting members, we will have to ask the City Commission serve as a de facto proxy for those board members that are not able to meet and therefore get a quorum of that actual board. So we're going to have the City Commission serve as their proxies, and then we will consider that as if you're the Fire and Pension Board. Does that make sense? It's a board organized, set up by the City Commission. So council and I discussed it, and we felt like that was the most appropriate path for the authorization. What we discussed first is the minutes from last year, and we are asking you all to have motions and vote on the minutes as if you're proxies, like we just described, de facto proxies. So you have the meetings in front of you, Mayor. Go ahead.
Well, we have some minutes. They're limited, as the discussion of this whole pension is a limited discussion. And Chair will entertain a motion for the approval of those minutes from June 25th of 21.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's made. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 2 will be the actuarial and investment review. Mr. Coffin.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. There's a lot of details. I'm going to focus first on, and really only on the cover letter. It's easiest to explain from there. On there's a table near the middle of that sheet, which should be on your screen. We'll be focusing on let me make sure this thing is on. Okay, here we go. This area right here that is labeled assets of the plan. You'll notice first in 2019, 7/1/2019, there was a value, 7/1/2020, there was a value, and 7/1/2021, there was a value. And what you will see is that the assets of the plan have increased. They have increased over the last 3 years with the city giving a 5% COLA last year. Below that, the annual contribution, the unfunded accrual actuarial accrued liability is labeled in this row, and it contemplates what this liability will be if the city gives no COLA, if the city gives a 3% COLA. So if you give no COLA, this is the total long-term liability is here and here, but that is broken down into an annual commitment below that. So you have number one, assuming no COLA, the annual commitment's about $45,000. With a 3% COLA, it's about $78,000. And they have, according to GASB, then determined that annual contribution to be $112,000. The city has invested $135,000 a year into that fund. The proposed budget that you have in front of you, the city is proposing, the draft budget also includes that $135,000 contribution, which is above the requirements for GASB, and then also to keep the fund solvent with a 3% COLA. What staff then is suggesting to consider, and we would propose to you, since we are already making a contribution of $135,000, is to consider at least a 5% COLA. The COLA that has came from the Department of Local Government is 7%. So we would recommend that you consider either a 5 to 7% raise for those retirees. There's, how many retirees right now are there? There's only like 8 or 9 checks being written out of the fund now. And so staff would certainly suggest you proceed with either one of those two levels.
What does 7% do to that?
It's still below the 135. I don't know, I didn't run that math technically, but it's still.
Still below what we.
Yeah, right. 3% is 30, so another 3% to 78 is 108, so we're still above that.
So Earl, what's the impact when the assets of this plan go from 973 in 2021? I guarantee you they're not there today. So what happens if that amount continues to decrease?
The commission would have to adjust either its contribution or decrease the COLAs in future moving forward, right? Like I said, the minimum contribution to keep the fund solvent is $44,827, and you're committing 135 already, and you have been committing 135 for several years.
And we've been doing the excess in order to,
Maintain the solvency. When the retirees are depleted, the funds roll back into the city's general fund.
just want to make sure
Correct.
they understood that.
Right.
So you need a motion for the COLA percentage, or
We
what?
would like a recommendation. So we got 2 agenda items. Number 2 is the actuarial review, and we've just completed that. The next agenda item is, what do you want to do with the COLA, and essentially? And so we would recommend a 5 or 7%, wherever you feel comfortable as a commission.
I'm gonna move that we approve a 7% COLA.
Commissioner Cardwell's motion, is there a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. You want to make a second?
I was trying to figure out what the amount would be.
Right,
If you do
right.
7%, because I can't find it in the letter. The 7% would be still under 135,000?
Correct. It would be about 120 according to the ratio.
So we would still have some carry forward money for the next year then?
Theoretically, yeah. And then, keep in mind, depending on the performance of the plan, and the mayor's pointing out that things aren't necessarily growing right now, but if you do have good performance of the fund, the assets of the plan in their investment portfolio, then you may be in a stronger position next year. It's one of those where you have to wait and see every year.
And we only have 8 people in this program?
8 or 9. Yeah.
This says 8.
Oh, yeah, then it's 8. Yeah, I couldn't remember I
And
didn't,
it goes on until, what happens to the 8?
correct.
They're like, if they pass their spouse, several of the folks receiving it right now are the spouses of the police and fire personnel that we once had. So once those, the original recipient and their spouse unfortunately pass on, then the assets revert back to the city.
I'll second Mr. Cotto's motion. He's buying breakfast again.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further questions or comments? None, Chair, call the question. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Ms. Compton, for a number of years now, I have asked for an analysis on our investment assets that are outside of government securities and CDs. An investment analysis that every fiduciary should perform on funds, especially pension funds. So a question I will ask that I don't expect you to have an answer to
Okay.
is what has been the investment performance of this fund in the previous 12 months? What has been the investment performance of this fund in the last 5 years or 10 years? And if there is a number, what is it contrasted to? So it's like a car. You got a car. It's a Volkswagen Beetle. And you say, I'm getting 25 miles to the gallon. That's great. But a Volkswagen Beetle should get 40. So there's an issue there. We don't know how much risk is in this portfolio. We don't know how much return relative to that risk.
I can tell you it's cash value as of April 30th, which was slightly below from last year. I don't know I can do some research and find out based on statements, history of it. You were at 939, 138, which is about close to 30,000 less than last year, approximately at this time.
And that's great to have that number.
I can do some research and get back to you on it.
You get my point, right?
I do understand your point, yes.
And if I can help you in that, since I am in that business,
Okay.
I'm not looking for that business. I'm looking to provide the services that we should be providing in oversight for any funds like this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can do some research and I can give you more answers than you have today at a future date, in the relatively near future date.
And I stand ready to assist you,
Okay, I appreciate
because
that.
I know that's probably a little out of your,
Well, it's not exactly in my wheelhouse,
Right.
but I'm not afraid to dive into things that aren't, so,
let me help you learn.
absolutely.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Look forward to having that conversation, finally. Do I hear a motion that, do you have a question? Do I hear a motion to adjourn this budget meeting, or pension board meeting?
I'll move to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner Hollins. Is there a second? I'll take that as a second, Commissioner Cotter. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Now we'll go over to the special call.
Mayor,
meeting.
we have a 15-minute wait. The budget meeting starts at 9:30, so unfortunately, we're gonna waste 15 minutes.
That's okay.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Ashley, go get donuts.
In a minute.